Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are over in Sioux Center, Iowa, and I have with me today John and Janice Spikesma. They're from Rock Rapids, Iowa, and they are retiring, and we are doing their farm retirement auction on December 12, 2024, and we're going to do it at the former Sioux Center Airport. We're on concrete, wonderful place to have an auction, and this is their retirement auction. John and Janice have been farming for 40-plus years, and I have with me John and Janice here, and this is a full retirement auction, folks. They got some outstanding John Deere equipment and some implements and a corn planter and some wagons and some other things, tillage equipment and so forth that we'll talk about, and a really nice combine. But before we do that, I just want to first of all say thanks to John and Janice for allowing us to do your auction. We appreciate that greatly. And John, did I understand right that you started farming full-time in 1984? And you had worked off the farm prior to that, but also did some farming. Is that right?
Yeah. I started out of high school. 2 weeks out of high school, I started for an engineering firm, worked into the bookkeeping department, and then in '84 I had a chance to go farming, so I quit and moved on.
So you raised a family growing up farming too, which was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Yeah. And Janice, you were telling me before we started talking today that you guys helped on a few other retirement sales. Tell us a little bit about your past. I'll let you hold the mic here.
Well, I was just saying that as my dad was retiring, John helped him with farming until he was completely done. And then later on, John's dad also retired from farming, and so he assisted with that too. So, and even though we lived in town because my job required that, we were at the farm more than we were anywhere else. And the kids loved it. Yeah, it was just a good place for kids to grow up. I kind of feel bad for all those that nowadays just are on their computers and their iPhones and TikToking and whatever else. I just think the farm is a great place to raise kids.
And make memories.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. The kids were always excited about coming home and going out to the field and riding in the combine, playing in the beans and whatever wagons were full, and riding along in the tractors and combine and so on. So yeah, kids always looked forward to it. So did the granddaughters, and even within just the last few years, the granddaughters even still came home, and lots of meals and stuff out in the field, and it was just a good time for them all.
Yeah.
So they also enjoyed the fun stuff in addition to the walking the beans and all that kind of stuff. They also liked riding the motorcycle out at the farm and being on the four-wheeler and snowmobiling and all those things too. So it was all great life.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, John, we're going to have the privilege next week to sell your wonderful line of equipment. And we're standing here, folks, by John's 8230 John Deere. And John, you bought this brand new, is that correct?
Yeah.
Brand new. And John, what did you say, only 1,450 some hours on this tractor?
Yes. I don't know, after it got drove, it was 1452 when it left the yard.
Yep. And we drove it down here, and you talk about just nice. Look at the tires on it. Look at the tractor. I mean, John, you're going to shed a tear when we sell this one, I bet, aren't you, John? Yes. Yeah, beautiful tractor. We'll have them pan around the tractor here a little bit and look at it. But, John, where did you buy this brand new? Which implement did you buy this from?
Dune John Deere.
Oh, sure. Yep, when it was lying ag there probably yet, or Agrivision at that time?
Icon Ag.
Icon Ag at the time?
Yeah.
Yep. And he bought this one brand new. And like I said, folks, it's an 8230.
I bought it in January of 2008.
Bought it in January of 2008.
It's
So
a 2007 model.
Yep.
That was left over, and I bought it.
In January of 08. So that's when it
first year in the field.
really got used in 08 for the first time. And John, you didn't use it much because it's only got 1,450 hours on it. Yeah.
We were busy all the time, though.
Yeah. Yeah. He's also got on this auction, and by the way, on this 8230, it's got rear duals, it's got front wheel assist, it's got good tires all the way around. And John, I bet the tractor's sound mechanically. Is there anything you know on it at all that it needs, or?
No. It doesn't have enough hours to get wore out.
I didn't think so. Well, it's a John Deere. It'll go like 10 times that. Yeah.
I have to say that he always liked having nice equipment. And if something needed to be fixed, he really fixed it. He didn't put a Band-Aid on it. So
He maintained it well, is what you're saying, Janice. Yes.
Yes, maintained.
Yes. And he had a good wife, right, John? That always makes a difference, too. Who did all the waxing and polishing? Because these things don't even look like you hardly ever had them out in the field.
The grandkids kind of helped.
They help you do that. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
When the weather
all the
was nice and
windows.
warm yet.
Yeah. Pretty good. Standing over here to our right, and Bryce will show you on the camera here in a minute, but over here to the right is a beautiful John Deere 7630 front wheel assist. And John, are you the second owner on the 7630?
I bought this in about 2011,
Okay.
and that was my planting and sprayer tractor,
Okay.
and with the IVT and the auto steer, and it was fun.
You know, John, I got to tell you a funny story. A guy called me yesterday and he said, how old is Mr. Spikesma? And I said, I think he's around 80, which you told me a while ago. I was right. But he said to me, he said, Mark, I got to be honest with you. He said, the IVT transmission is one of the best John Deere transmissions John Deere made, which I would agree with him. And he said, Mark, he said, it's amazing to me. He said that an older gentleman had an IVT because most of them didn't have that. So I was kind of impressed when I seen that, John. So, and you're not old. Your age is only a number, right?
I am old.
Yeah. But beautiful 7630, and John bought that as second owner. And John, that's only got 2,050 some hours on it, I believe, just a little over 2,000 hours. And you heard it, folks. He mainly did it with planting and I'm going to say light field work with his 7630. And Bryce kind of showed you the pictures of it, but that's a front wheel assist with the rear duals, excellent tires. And John, I don't mean to say this to sound like an auctioneer or a salesman, but when you look at these tractors, in a showroom, they're perfect, but these are not far from that.
Yeah.
If somebody was asking me if they're a 7 or a 6 or an 8 or a 9, if 10's the highest, I would say you would agree they're probably definitely a 9.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and maybe a 9, 9.5 plus. Also on this auction, we're going to have John's combine, which Bryce will pan around and take a look at that combine for you. But John, what can you tell me about your combine?
Well, I wanted to finish my career with the rotary.
Yep.
I had a perfectly good 9400 that I could have kept.
Yeah.
But I traded in, I think I bought that in 2011, and it's just super nice, runs smooth.
Well, I'm assuming, John, you've always kept all your major equipment shedded. Is that right?
Pretty much,
Your tractors and your combine and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff has been inside. And it's a 9560.
Yeah, it's a 2007 9560.
And how many hours on your combine about, John?
There's 995 separator hours and about 1,400 engine hours.
Well, you and I
It's
both.
brand new yet.
You and I both have had a lot of calls on it,
Yeah.
and every call that I've had on it, John, has said to me, Mark, you don't find a combine of that age with that low of hours.
That's true.
How many acres did you usually farm, John?
I used to farm about 700,
Yep.
but then 6-7 years ago I quit with the big, and I just farmed 80 acres.
Oh, yeah.
I have something to do.
So they haven't had a lot of use the last years.
And then the last 2 years they've been standing still because my medical problem.
Yeah, you had some health issues going
Yeah,
on.
We
Yeah,
got that taken care of now. So
You're rambunctious again then.
I wish I was.
You bet. John's also got a 606 John Deere corn head, and he's also got a 630 bean head. Is that correct? And then you got the 1760 John Deere planter, 12 row 30, and that's got half width shutoffs on it. Is that correct? He's also got a very nice disc mower. He's got a Brent 644 gravity wagon. Anything else about any of your other equipment that we haven't talked about? You got your John Deere 637 disc. That's in really nice shape. Is that right, John?
Everything's in good condition.
Yes. Would you say most of it's field ready to go, John, pretty much?
And yeah, you'd have to look things over a little bit, but yeah, I'm pretty much ready to go.
Yeah. On all the major equipment, I'm assuming you've kept maintenance records up and all that kind of stuff for oil changes?
I don't write everything down, but this has got a fresh oil change and 2 new batteries in it.
On the 8230? Okay.
And the combine's got a fresh oil change.
Fresh oil change on that too?
And the fuel's all been treated
Oh, for winter. Okay.
in case it's cold.
Yeah, it's going to be nice sale day, John. It's going to be 35 and sunny, and I don't know, but we
just
hope so.
looked and it said 38.
38 and sunny. That's better yet. Yeah. Folks, you can go to zomercompany.com and you can look at the videos. You can look at the website, and you can also attend the auction live on site on December 12th. And we'll be here at 10:30 in the morning. John does have a lot of small tools and stuff that we'll be starting the auction on, and then we'll be working into his line of equipment. And also on the website, there's a picture of every single line of equipment, and of these tractors, there's probably 70 to 100 pictures of them. And same thing on his combine and his tillage equipment and stuff like that. So you can take a look at all that at zomercompany.com. But Janice, before we end the video, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I just hope that we have a good turnout and that I know that people will be satisfied because he has kept his equipment in good shape.
Well, as Janice just mentioned to you folks, you can bid with confidence because John's kept his equipment up nice. One thing we didn't mention, John, was your 40-20, and I'm guessing you've had your 40-20 for quite a long time.
I have two of them.
Yep.
The one with the loader,
Yep.
I've had a long time.
Yep.
This other one, probably 10 years. But like I told you, the 70 model is not a cream puff.
Yep. I was asking about his 40-20s earlier, and he said the 70 model is a survivor, he put it.
Yeah.
It drives and it runs, but it's not a cream puff. It's not an 8230 and it's not a 7630, is it? Yes.
But the loader tractor is a 69 40-20 with the console hydraulics, and that's in excellent condition too.
Well,
and we'll get that down here Friday. We used it yet today. So.
Yeah, no problem. So like I said, folks, he's going to have two 40-20s. The one is runnable and drivable, but it's a survivor, as John would say.
Yeah.
But it is mechanically that you can drive it and run it and use it. The other one he has a loader on, and there's pictures of that on our website you can take a look at. And like he said, that's a good 40-20, and he'll be bringing that this week to the lot here. He's been using it a little bit to finish up out at their acreage there. So again, on behalf of John and Janice, folks, we want to thank you for watching the videos. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can sure give John a call. He'd be happy to visit with you about any of his equipment. And we hope to see you sale day. We'll have free coffee for you on December 12, 2024. And we'll be here at 10:30 in the morning to get the sale going. And we'll start on some of the small items and work into his equipment. And you can bid online also, like I said, at zomercompany.com. But on behalf of us, we want to thank you for watching this video. And we appreciate hopefully you attending on the day of the auction to spend the retirement day with John and Janice. So I always say, John, farmers, when you work in a corporate factory, they throw a retirement party for you, and they give you cake and cookies and all that. A farmer really doesn't get cake and cookie and all that when he retires, does he? No. He just gets a really nice line of equipment to sell. So.
And they expect you to buy a round of drinks when you get to.
Yeah. You bet. Well, you have a nice line of equipment, and John, it's all John Deere's, but do they make anything else? No, I'm just teasing. No, John Deere's are beautiful tractors, and he's got a nice collection of them. So we'll see you sale day. Thanks again, folks.